And what do you know? Here we are. Surprise! Quelle surprise! Chris Chibnall. I'll be diplomatic and say that new Doctor Who, any of it, Russell T Davies, Stephen Moffat, Chris Chibnall, it's not for me. I'm old, I'm not their intended audience. Doctor Who for me ended in 1988. But anyway, it's a sunny day. It's 4:30 here in the UK, and I figured, well, it's Saturday. It's my day off. I'll either just play some games, or maybe we'll finish off this. We'll finish off this shot here. So yeah, why not finish off this shot? Just passing through. Excellent. Excellent. Feel free to ask any questions you like, because I'm just kind of chilling and chatting. If we get this one done, we can move on to Scene 8, Shot 11, Door Exit, Close-Up, Redux, which I put shading on one frame. It looks like this at the moment. Obviously the purple will be chroma keyed out because there's going to be a moving background as she kind of sneaks away. She sneaks away out of a room. Out of a spooky room into a corridor outside. So I guess it's put the shading on, all of that, and then stick the colour on. But one thing at a time. Let's do this. Top 5 must watch OVAs for their animation. Gunbuster, Birth, Angel Cop, Dangayo definitely. I almost said Escaflowne, but it's a TV series that looks like an OVA. I'd have to write a list, wouldn't I? I'd have to write a list. Right, so we'll do this cable, and first Clinical Brain Death. It's 20 points.
There's gotta be a value in that. There is. 20 points.
We'll do this first. Because it's kind of in two halves, this cable. Yeah, I've heard of Absalom Dak the Dalek Killer. Didn't he have a record? I think like Doctor Who magazine or something back in the 80s released like a record or something. He had an old school Cyberman companion at one point travelling with him. Daleks are so tricky to do right. Like they're so tricky to do a Dalek story right, where you actually make them menacing and not a joke or a meme.
What I want to know is identifies data. Enter data now.
I could do a good Dalek story, I think. I kind of here's my autism kicking in. I don't actually know if I have autism, but you know what I mean. Here's my attention to detail that no one gives a shit about kicking in. I think Daleks making like mechanical whirring noises whilst they move. I'm not sure I like that. I'm not sure I like that. They're too robotic and tank-like now. They've moved very much like, you know, move forward, turn 45 degrees, head turns 90 degrees. Whereas in the original Dalek stories, in, you know, Dalek Invasion of Earth and the Daleks, the 60s stuff, and then, you know, 70s stuff like especially Death to the Daleks, they're really twitchy. They don't move deliberately. They just kind of They're twitching about all the time. You can tell something alive is controlling them. They even comment on it in Death to the Daleks. They say like, your friends are like really twitchy, aren't they? And the Doctor's like, yeah, well, there's like a bubbling lump of hate inside each one of those things. Like, don't confuse them for robots. So I kind of miss that they move around silently kind of feel to Daleks, but I don't know. Your mileage may vary on that one. Megazone 2.3 has some fantastic animation, yeah. And I don't think they should ever be able to fly. I think that's ridiculous. Like, if it's one of those things where like there was a bunch of people in a board meeting going, what should we do for our Dalek story? We'll make them fly. Alright, it's a cool idea, I guess, but you've kind of, it's like that hyperspace ramming thing in Star Wars. Yeah, it'll make for a cool scene in that particular film, but now you've ruined like continuity and future story things, because if Daleks can fly and fly really fucking fast, why would they ever move on the ground ever again now? Why aren't they flying all the time? You know, in the old series they could hover. They could hover so that they could, you know, get over uneven terrain, but they didn't hover very high. They'd just like hover a few centimeters off the ground to get up steps and stuff. And I think that was perfect. But now that they can fly, why would they ever do anything other than just fly at 50 miles per hour, just shooting everything? The slow, inexorable menace is lost now. I don't know, I guess I'm an avid student of Dalek aesthetics through the years. Ooh, yeah, Ixa's good. Ixa's good. Has very nice animation as well. Indeed, yeah. I try not to go off on rants, especially for, you know, stuff that I've technically worked on. I've like in a professional capacity worked on Doctor Who BBC property for some of the like animated stuff that you see in the bottom left corner of the screen sometimes. So it's a bad idea to kind of shit talk your employer. That's always a terrible idea, but it's not like I'm ever gonna have any more Doctor Who gigs, so and I'm not saying like, wow, this showrunner is a piece of shit. I'm just saying, you know, how I would prefer the direction of stories go. I mean, just look at the Cybermen. They've been so mishandled. They've been so consistently mishandled in Doctor Who that they're just stompy robots now. They're just stompy robots. And that was never what made them creepy in the first place. I hated those reboot Cybermen that just stomp around making like big like stompy clanking noises. If you've ever seen the moon base, like they're all like Tomb of the Cybermen, they're scary because they just move around silently. They're almost like slasher villains in the moon base. Like, imagine that with those new, like, what was it, 2011 when it came back? 2005 era Cybermen on the moon base. One of those would never sneak up on you. You'd hear it coming about 50 meters away. And they have to have quips now, don't they? They have to have catchphrases. Like, a Cyberman wouldn't sneak up on you because it would be saying delete, delete, delete the whole time. It's like, you know, someone watched some Dalek stories and said, hey, these guys say exterminate, so we need all of our Doctor Who monsters to have a catchphrase now. But you know, at the end of the day, it's easy to sit here and armchair critique. I'm sure when you're working on a show and there's hundreds of different writers and producers and you've got the BBC on top of that mandating stuff, like, I'm sure it's very, very hard to actually get like a good story out. The chances that you're gonna make some good TV are probably way lower than you're gonna make some mediocre or bad TV when there's so many cooks in the kitchen. Which I guess is why I like to work the way I work, which is just I'm working for myself. Me and Mackie just look at everything. It's a two-person thing. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't really shoot. I don't think bullets would do much to a Cyberman. That is the problem, yeah. When you, I've gotten to that point where I study shading so much in anime that I can't just sit down and enjoy an old OVA now. I'm just too busy going, oh shit, look at the shading on that face there. So it's a blessing and a curse. How are my sound levels? Are they alright? Sounds good. Excellent. Thanks for the $10. And I'm pretty sure I'm not an expert on Blender at all, but there's going to be tutorials on YouTube, and you can definitely. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you can definitely do the Cinema 4D thing of exporting lines out. Yeah, you can definitely do that in Blender. In fact, I believe it has something called Grease Pencil, which is kind of a more advanced version of what I do in Cinema 4D. So yeah, short answer is yes, I think. But don't hold me to it, because I don't use Blender. I am live! I am! Out of nowhere. I thought I'd do a surprise stream and see if anyone turned up. Also, it's kind of nice to be streaming in the day for once. Every time I stream, I always try and stream at midnight my time, so it's, you know, a decent time in America where most of the viewers are. But I mean, it does mean that I'm constantly worried about making too much noise or talking too loud because, you know, other people in the house are asleep. Whereas now I can talk as loud as I like. Although you probably can't tell. It probably sounds no different. When Project Monday will be finished, like percentage, we're about 85% done with the backgrounds and all the flat colours. And so then it's just a case of doing what I'm doing now and just colouring everything. Like, you know, shading and... so maybe another half year, maybe? Maybe another half a year. I really want it to look, you know, to like visually just look the best thing that I've ever done is what I want to do. And the secondary goal is I want it to actually be scary. But, you know, I've discussed it before. Can animation be scary? Like, it's really hard. It's really hard to do, I think, to make animation scary. And you can't be scared by your own stuff, so I will have no idea if what I'm putting together is actually creepy in any way. I'll have to rely on, like, I guess, testers. Because, you know, Mackie and Zach maybe release some early stuff to Patreon. Instro, you're here. I haven't seen you for a bit. Welcome. Yeah, I believe I'm committing a national taboo. I'm streaming on the day of Prince Philip's funeral, aren't I? Yeah. It's the rule, isn't it? Like for every good thing in any genre or medium, there's thousands of shit ones. I saw a film last night. I watched a horror film with Mackie called what was it called? Come True. It was called, as in dreams come true. And it's 2020's been a weird year, hasn't it? Because of the whole lockdown thing. Loads of films have come out and like nobody's seen them and nobody talks about them. So this came out in 2020. It's about this girl who does a sleep study. Like she goes into like this clinic and does a sleep study where they watch your dreams and they basically record your nightmares. And I'm telling you, if you're a Silent Hill fan, the dream sequences, like the nightmare sequences in that film, are fantastic. Absolutely, just like fantastic camera floating through abstract nightmare dreamscapes. So I mean, visually it's really, really good, and I was actually intrigued the whole way through up until it shits the bed at the end and becomes like, it was like, I mean, I won't spoil it for you, but the ending, I don't have a clue what was going on at the end, but I did watch 3/4 of a really good film, so I won't call it a loss. Like, I enjoyed 3/4 of it a lot. It's just the end, I was like, what? But yeah, like, oh, more of that, please, I think. I don't know if there's like a YouTube video or something showing like the spooky... They're not even spooky, they're just unnerving. They're just kind of the nightmare sequences from that film. But yeah, they were really good. They were really good. Oh yeah. Prince Philip lived for a long time, didn't he? 99 or something? Yeah, so all of my animations are on YouTube, and like when you go to my channel, we've organized them into a list, because if you just go to a channel and click on videos, it's just hundreds of live streams. It's just hundreds of live streams. So to make it easier for people who just want to watch, you know, the actual goods, I think it's called like OtaKing Animations or something. It's in like a curated list. All of my, like, you know, finished stuff is there, because it was getting a bit ridiculous just filling up with live streams. Do you know what I didn't do? The stream was so surprise stream that I didn't prepare properly and go and buy more coffee, because I ran out of coffee yesterday. So it's tea for me, I guess, for our coffee breaks today. Hello Davidson. Imagine being born in 1921. I mean, I'm cynical. I'm cynical now, being born basically at the start of the 80s, and I'm like, wow, everything was so much better. Like, imagine being born in the 20s and growing up in the 30s. Everything's so different to the way it was back then. You just must feel like I am in the wrong time. Nothing makes sense anymore. Everyone dresses and looks weird. They use weird slang that doesn't make any sense. The music they listen to is completely bizarre. But, you know, it'll happen to all of us. It'll happen to all of us. I could go and get some. I'd have to go to the local Tesco and buy some, which is admittedly only a minute away, only a minute walk away. But nah, I'll do tea. I'll do tea. So yeah, just shading cables today, I guess. Here's a shot from above. What do you think of that? It's one of those things where I worked on it for so long that I actually cannot tell if it's acceptable or just total rubbish. I mean, I think it's alright. I think you know, in the final edit I'll add some steam and stuff, maybe. I'm gonna add some like steam hissing out of vents in the corridor just in general for this whole scene. But maybe that'll make it a little bit more interesting, I'm not sure. Indeed, sudden early stream out of nowhere. Looks solid. Okay. But yeah, this is the color palette that we're going to be using for this shot. She has a few different color palettes depending on the location in the ship that she's in. Doing a bit of an Acura with that. Not too much steam, no. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Like sometimes because you're watching the clip on repeat, stuff just sticks out to you that no one will notice in the final film. Who was asking about Zoids a couple of streams ago? Like, did I ever watch Zoids? And then, whilst we were talking about it, Zoids came on, and here it is again. Like, this list is on random. There's a lot of songs in it. There's many hours of tunes. What are the chances that Arabian Zoids would come on? The exact same one that we listened to whilst talking about it last time. Ah, yes. Yeah, when you find something that works, like Winamp, I mean, it's always just worked, hasn't it? If you find something that works, why why use anything else at that point? Never try new things. Like I always say. Never try new things. Live in the past. Never try new things. It's a philosophy which has served me very well throughout my miserable, jaded life. Have to watch To Your Eternity. What is that? What is that? I've never heard of that. TIE Fighter took 4 years. 4 years of weekends. And it's what, 7 minutes long? But I mean, in many ways, TIE Fighter was kind of easy because it's just space battles, which I'm pretty confident at doing. Whereas this film is all character movements. So this one's taking a lot longer, even though I'm not working on it at weekends. I'm working on it 7 days a week. Thank goodness for Patreon, because you know, if I had to work at McDonald's or whatever, because I'm not qualified for anything else. If I had to work a retail job, I'd just never get anything done. I'd only be working on it at weekends, and this film would take 10 years to do. The Street Fighter will be done eventually. I'm not giving up on it. Oh, it's getting quite warm in here actually. I think summer might be on the way. I'm at 27 degrees right now in my room. Not confirming nor denying anything, but I may have taken my shirt off. What kind of sandwiches do you eat? So this is how you know I'm a workaholic, where it's a bit of a meme, but it's like totally true that I just live on sandwiches because everything else takes too long to make. Like cooking for yourself is boring and time consuming, and it's not worth it just for one person, I don't think. So I just go downstairs, slap some meat on some bread, and that's pretty much what I eat every day. Because I just need to get back upstairs and get animating, because the film ain't gonna make itself. And so it's mostly ham and cheese sandwiches, mostly. But with these streams and the sandwich funds, which as you can see yesterday was exceeded by a country mile, with the sandwich funds I can afford to actually buy real actual meat now, and not that disgusting processed crap that tastes fine but you probably don't want to know what's in it. I was living on that before. Too much. When I'm feeling like I have a few extra minutes, I do toast them, because toasted ham and cheese is just really good. What I was doing was making stir fries a few years back, but then obviously coronavirus hit and I don't want to go to the big supermarket, and they don't have all the ingredients for making stir fries in the small supermarket Express that's right next to my house. But hopefully, if ever this virus stuff lets up, then yeah, I'll be walking back down to Waitrose and buying ingredients and making stir fries, which is a bit more healthy. I mean, I'm taking a lot of vitamin supplements from what I'm not getting in my sandwiches. I guess you could say I've been on crunch for about the past what, 6 years or so. But it doesn't feel bad. It doesn't feel bad. Like I say, if you're crunching for yourself, it's not too bad at all. Being forced to do it by like Electronic Arts or whatever would be a very different story. You have lessons to teach. Nah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I wasn't expecting anyone to show up. I figured I'd just be adding highlights to these cables and just listening to the music silently. So 44 people, that's a pleasant surprise. Oh, I need to manage my time most effectively, and you know, getting some work done for the current film is the best use of my time, I think. So that's why I'm doing that for the stream. I do have different coffee breaks for depending on which project I'm working on. Like when I was doing R-Type, we had the R-Type coffee breaks. Maybe we'll put them on this time. Maybe we'll change it up and have a R-Type coffee break. And for the Street Fighter project, I had all the Street Fighter adverts and various things, which was quite nice. Indeed, 2 of them. Can you imagine? You don't need to imagine, you can see it before your eyes. Yes, midday stream. Oh, Ace 2. What a game! Well, the game was alright. It just has a really good theme tune. Oh yeah. I think that the cutscenes for Ghost in the Shell and the opening movie for the PlayStation, that's what Ghost in the Shell should look like. It's the closest thing we've ever got to a manga accurate Ghost in the Shell animation. The tone is perfect. The character designs are just like completely legit, absolutely accurate to the manga. I mean, it's game cutscenes, so they're shorter and they can put more money into them. So obviously it looks a million times better than anything standalone complex. But I wish we could have gotten a Ghost in the Shell series that looked like that. I don't know why I'm yawning, I just woke up. Boss coffee, of course. Boss, I can't live without you. Keshite itsumo. What is it? Keshite watashi itsu demo soba ni itai or something, I don't know. No, it's keshite watashi misutenai de kudasai. Please don't forsake me, boss. Boss, I can't live without you. It's a lot of loyalty. A lot of loyalty for a hired gun. At least Amy Hamasaki can talk. But who is she? But actually, it doesn't matter who she is. What matters is her plan. She's a big girl for you. Yep, it's mo sobani I tene boss. Do 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 do. Let's have a look. Yeah, we got that cable done, boys. We got that cable done. So merge those two, and now what we need to do is add this third tone onto all of these. Every single one of them. Hope you're ready. I think I'll use brush size 4. I've turned my mask on, so that will help. Nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask. How old were you when you attempted your first animation project? First animation I ever did was for an indie point-and-click horror game called The White Chamber. You can still find playthroughs of it on YouTube. It's super old now, and yeah, it's the art is kinda bad, the animation's kinda bad. But that was the first thing I did. So, yeah, we were Studio Trophis. We were ahead of our time. This was indie games before indie games were on Steam and stuff. Like if we'd have made it now, we might have been able to make some money off of it. But we never made any money off of it. You know, maybe streamers would have been playing it. Who knows? Born in the wrong time. Cucked out of money. But that's okay, we made it for fun. Yeah, I think if you go to the Studio Trophis website, which I think is still up, you can still download it to this day, I believe, for free. Oh, is it finally gone? Is it finally gone? Yeah, I guess that's it for the white chamber then. You know, Kira Buckland, the anime voice actress, she was the voice of the main character in it. This was, you know, before she hit the big time doing actual dubs for Funimation and whatnot. We managed to snap her up for free. For free. Yeah. Indeed. I mean, I don't know if she would now, but back then she was, you know, just for the exposure of it, was doing voice stuff for all kinds of stuff on Newgrounds, yeah. Oof. Someone remind me in 10 minutes to do a coffee break. We'll have been going for an hour in 10 minutes. Seems as good a time as any. Farewell. Consume all the food you can. Yeah, is it busy outside then? I mean, it is a really pretty nice day actually today, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, it was snowing just the other day. Just the other day it was snowing, and now it's creeping up to 30 degrees in my room. We're going to be living that Snowpiercer future very soon. I watched, I went home for a bit, not last week, week before. I went home to Lincoln to just relax and eat good food for once. But obviously I didn't have any way to do any work, didn't have a computer there, so it was just sit down and watch Netflix for 4 days. And I binged all of the Snowpiercer TV series, which was pretty good actually. I quite enjoyed it. All 1,029 cars long of it. And you know, that's another one where, oh, they made a TV series out of that? I haven't heard anything about it. So much stuff is being made and just slips through the cracks. Not read the comic, but I imagine not at all. Borrowed the concept of a train going through the ice, and I think that's all they took from the comic. It's more based on the movie, which itself wasn't in any way faithful to the comic, I don't think. Yeah, it did, didn't it? I've not read the comic, but I looked up the Wikipedia page, which is completely legit research, obviously, and yeah, I was like, wow, this sounds completely different. And then the TV series is completely different again from the movie, so it's even more far removed from the original work. Maybe it was good, wasn't it, Vampire Hunter D? Like, I didn't like the art style as much as the original Vampire Hunter D movie, but yeah, that animation was tasty. one of the things with Snowpiercer was like, so the train has to continuously keep moving. If they stop for too long, then the perpetual motion engine that powers everything just kind of powers down, I guess. So it needs to keep going around the Earth on this rail track like forever. And it's 1,000 odd cars long. So, and even my mother was watching it as well, and she was like, well, what about the train track? They're going around the whole world. Wouldn't the track have broken in parts? And it's not like you can stop and get out to fix the track. They have to keep moving, and they're the only people left alive. And it's literally like 200 degrees below outside, so no one can go outside for more than a few seconds in super protective gear. So it's not like they have people outside to do infrastructure, but it's not really addressed, is it? It's just like, well, no, the rails are fine, and when the snow falls and covers the rails, the train just goes really fast and just powers through the snow. So, you know, little tiny details like that. I was just kind of like, but how does, you know, it's just that stupid stuff like George R.R. Martin asking about how does Aragorn's tax policy work in Lord of the Rings? Like, who cares? Who cares what his tax policy was? Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed my voice. No, I don't lose motivation. That's one thing I'm okay with. Like, I have plenty of problems, but motivation doesn't seem to be one. And you know, I can't speak today. I don't do anything specifically to like keep myself motivated. I just wake up and animate, and then when I go to sleep, I wake up again and I'm completely refueled. Like, I guess the motivation part of my brain is just completely reset, and I'm ready to go again. Yeah, George R.R. Martin, like, he's, how to describe him? Obviously, I don't know him. He might be a really, really nice guy in real life, but he's just kind of, he did a couple of books, 4 books or whatever, sold the rights to HBO or whatever, made infinite money from that, so never has to write another word in his life, and he's never going to. Like, he's clearly never going to finish that next book, let alone finish the whole thing. So, and I mean, he's quite old, so he will die before it ever gets finished. And you know, he seems more interested in tweeting on Twitter than actually finishing the books. So yeah, there's that, but I mean that's a lot of people, isn't it? Just a lot of people, I don't really understand this, get into arguments on Twitter. Like, I'm talking like big name people who should be working on their movie /book/game, stuff that takes a lot of time, they take a hiatus from that to argue with literally who's on Twitter. I don't understand. You know, just ignore them and continue and finish your work. Finish your damn job. It's not that hard. Like, you don't have to reply to everyone who trolls you on Twitter. You don't have to. Yeah, Twitter is a trap, definitely. Oh, thank you for leaving that like, most appreciated. I wish you could stay too. I mean, I don't know, I don't follow his Twitter, but yeah, I mean, it's probably politics, isn't it? Everything's politics these days. What is my favourite fighting game? Well, I must preface this by saying I'm unmitigated shit at games in general, and especially fighting games. But I think my favourite is probably going to be Street Fighter 02. That's the one that I'm least shit at. And I think the one that had the most impact on me at the time. Unmitigated shit at games in general. I mean, especially competitive stuff. It's just, there's no way. Nah, I'm just not interested in Ryu or Ken. I've always found the other characters to be more interested. More interested? More interesting. Chun-Li's interesting. Chun-Li's interesting, but I mean, there's so many new characters, and you know, shockingly, some of them are actually quite good. I'd be more interested in doing an animation about Cammy, to be honest. I always really liked the character design for Cammy. Damn, Bengus was a god, wasn't he? What an absolute top tier character designer that guy was. Indeed, today is a magnificent day. Yeah, Mac is pretty good. I like Jury. I like Jury a lot. Oh, you mean Guile? I mean, Guile was based on Stroheim, wasn't he? Bison was based on the character from Teito Monogatari series of books, which you may know as Doomed Megalopolis, the anime OVA adaptation. Yeah, it was based on Lisa. This was back in the days where obviously JoJo's was only known inside of Japan before it became an oversaturated dead meme in the West. Everything's like, you post a Dio song by, you know, Ronnie James Dio, and it's like, is that a JoJo's reference? No, it isn't, you absolute Fucking pebble brain. It's one of those monkey's paw wishes where you wish for something and it comes true, but in the worst possible way. Like in the 90s, I loved, I mean, I still do, the 90s JoJo's OVA. It's fantastic. Really nicely animated, beautifully drawn, just incredibly good shit. And I remember thinking, like, this is completely unknown. I wish people knew about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And maybe in the future people will know about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And yeah, my wish came true, and it's basically like the new Homestuck, isn't it, at this point? So, you know, not to be an old gatekeeping man here, but sometimes, you know, be careful what you wish for. Maybe nobody likes their favourite anime or game or whatever to be completely unknown, but just think that maybe, what about the alternative? What if everyone knew about it? Sometimes that can be worse. Is this, oh, it's just Target Renegade. I was like, is this Delta? What? Oh yeah. I was that guy in the 90s. Oh, I wish everyone knew about my Japanese anime. Everyone looks at me weird when I talk about my Japanese cartoons. I wish it was popular and everyone knew about it, and yeah, now they do. And I wish that wish back. As the Wishmaster appeared and said, "Granted," and it just backfired on me. Cue the anime was a mistake.jpg. Hey, it's Mackie! Mackie has awoken. Mackie, do you think anime was a mistake.jpg? Is that a big F for Prince Philip? The funeral's going on now, apparently. Yes. See, enjoy things while they are niche. That's when you knew it was all over. Time to start prepping. Time to build a bunker in your back garden and you know, stack up on military rations. It's all over now. Is this Zoids again? No, it's Armageddon Man. Damn, what a lonely game Armageddon Man was. What a lonely atmospheric game it was. So you're a guy and you're one guy on a satellite in orbit around the Earth, and you're totally on your own on this satellite, and you have to stop Armageddon by basically shooting down nuclear missiles being fired by various world powers. And you do it all via... hold on, let me see if I can find some gameplay from it. Let's get some culture in this stream. We'll get some gaming history, shall we? Armageddon Man C64. Well, I found the Amiga version, maybe that'll do it. One moment. So yeah, you get a rating from the governments of the world. You've got your map here. The UNN forces are in Islamic Alliance? Oh no, so you're not alone. You've got a cat on your dashboard. Okay, that's good. Canada's very friendly with Israel right now. Let's just see what's going on. So yeah, it's basically about trying to keep peace from your orbital satellite. I'm not sure if there's much more to it than that, but I mean, you're totally on your own. There's no music. It's very lonely. And there you go. Armageddon Man, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah, absolutely. You'd always get that though, wouldn't you? So Mackie, what are you up to? Did you just wake up? Feel free to come on the stream if you like. I'm always badgering her to come on the stream. You don't have to. It's fine. It's a very nice day over here. I see. By house duties, you mean you gotta scoop up some cat poop. Very important. It's very sunny out there. Temperature is 27.8 degrees in my room. Always so cruel to Poopy. We're learning all kinds of stuff in the chat today. Yes, have fun out there in the world, and see you next time. That was one of my favourite movies as a kid. It had a different, it had a few different titles depending on where it was released in the world. That it was a Disney live action film. Over here it was called The Spaceman and King Arthur. But I think it has like 5 or 6 different localized titles depending on where it's released. But it's based on the Mark Twain book, yeah. I tell you, Disney used to make really good films. Not just like kiddie shit as well, or like cape shit. The Black Hole? Who the hell authorized the Black Hole? Holy shit. The Black Hole's a masterpiece, I'm telling you. I love that film, but it's... You watch it and you're like, is this Disney? This is really dark. Yeah, localization is very... If you're into translation theory, translation studies, localization is pretty fantastic. It's a very interesting topic, which I did my university dissertation on it for Japanese studies. It's all about that dynamic versus formal equivalence, baby. Black Cauldron, yeah. I'd love to see the actual unedited version of Black Cauldron. I mean, I'm sure they have complete executive authority over... I mean, technically Lucasfilm makes Star Wars movies, but I mean, it's really just Disney, isn't it? I think. Same with Marvel, probably. And they own Alien now as well. I think they announced that they want to be doing 1 to 2 Alien films every year. They have no idea, do they? They have no clue whatsoever. Because that totally won't create brand fatigue in any way. Just keep milking everything until it's done and then move on to the next property. That's the Disney way right now. The fact that Alien's a franchise or a brand is kind of sickening in itself. I hate it when I hear like, oh, the what is it, the Marvel franchise, the so-and-so franchise. Like, franchise is a burger chain, it's not a good thing. Darkstar, yes I have. And I liked it. What's yeah, same thing happened, the animation cells being lost to time. Same thing happened with Event Horizon, didn't it? They were storing all the uncut stuff from Event Horizon. I think they were storing in like some dingy building and it all got destroyed, so we couldn't have an uncut director's cut of it, even if the studio wanted to do it, which, I mean, they probably wouldn't. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You don't want it to be a franchise. Like a franchise is, yeah, a franchise is a bad thing. I don't want a Blade Runner franchise. I don't want a Bubblegum Crisis franchise. I just want them to make good shit when they make good shit, and not have like a corporate mandated we must have our movie for this year, and we must write it via a focus group so it ticks all the most audience boxes. No. I want one director with one vision to make something because it's good and they wanted to make it. Not like a director for hire. Yeah, Rogue One was alright, wasn't it? I think they probably thought, well, this is, no one's going to really care about this compared to the big, you know, numbered Star Wars films. So we'll let the director have a bit more control over this. And I mean, what do you know? It turns out to be the best one. Although it was still like totally butchered, wasn't it? The amount of stuff in the trailer that wasn't in the finished film because they just kept re-editing and changing the ending and all that stuff. I mean, with Dune, I guess the reasoning is that we've never had... This is me being charitable, I don't believe this for a second. So the reasoning is that we've never had a faithful adaptation of the Dune book. So why not do one? But it's not in any way faithful to the book, from what we've heard about the casting and the story direction and all of that stuff. I mean, it's current year, and you couldn't really do that film, I don't think. Have you played Dune 2000? No, I haven't. I know the Amiga game and the kind of conversion to the Mega CD were really good. Yeah, I mean, I think like the movie industry, I think YouTube is a good. It's a good. What's the word? Analogy? Is it a simile? It's kind of like the movie industry in microcosm YouTube. That to get your videos doing well on YouTube, you must follow this formula. Here's the thumbnail format that you need to use. It should be this long. You need your like, comment and subscribe at exactly this point in the video. You need to do your call to action here. You know, everything's a formula now. if you want to be successful on YouTube. And I think it's exactly the same in Hollywood. Like, hire your focus group to look at your script, make sure that every single demographic is ticked, or at least the most of them as possible. Bear in mind how it's going to play out on social media, so you know that's going to affect casting a lot. We must be very diverse in our casting and all that kind of stuff. You can't just make a film, it seems. Well, you can if it's like a really low budget art house film or whatever, an indie film festival. But like if you're working for Disney or 20th Century Fox or something, you're not going to be making the thing that you wanted to make. It's going to go through so many revisions, so many scripts, so many script changes, 100 focus groups telling you to change the ending and then change it again and then change it again. But also bear in mind, I might not have a clue what I'm talking about. I mean, if there's one thing I know, it's that I'm opinionated, but I don't actually really know anything. Which is a great combination, a fantastic combination there. Surely that won't get me into trouble. Yeah, Dune on the Mega CD was fantastic, wasn't it? And now a word from our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah, focus groups have always been a thing. But I think when it really becomes a problem is like them. Speaking of it being a thing, that Thing prequel that they made recently, where they did all the effects were practical effects, and they showed it to a focus group, and they were like, why are all these rubber puppets in here? This isn't scary, this is really old looking. And so the studio was like, well shit, no one liked it, we must go back and cover up all of the practical effects with CGI. And that's what they did, and the result was just a forgettable shit film with all the craft sucked out of it. So yeah, sometimes maybe you show it to a focus group, and if they give you stupid stupid feedback, you go, oh well, you know what, that's just like your opinion, bro, and completely discard it. Like if I showed this film I'm doing, for instance, to a focus group of 1,000 anime fans, you're gonna have a lot of them saying, make it more like Evangelion because I like Evangelion. Do I then make it more like Evangelion, even though that's nothing like the film that I'm trying to make? No, it's stupid feedback, so you ignore it. Oh, Clash of the Titans. I'm telling you, those skeletons, they look so good. I mean, they look good then, but now that it's been remastered and you can see them in like super crisp 4K quality, they look even better. It's amazing that you'd think that would expose the flaws, but it just makes them look better because it was just done so flawlessly. Also, sorry if my microphone is picking up screaming children outside. I can stick my head out the window and say, hey, I'm trying to stream here. Use kids, get out of here. Too many dicks spoil the broth. It's true. Oh, that was Jason and the Argonauts. Yes, yeah, that's right. We haven't. No, we were going to do a coffee break, weren't we? Yeah. All right, let's do one now. I will see you back here in a few minutes. Bye.
A very special cup of coffee. A new standard in richness. A new standard in pureness. Blended together to give a new standard in smooth. The Gold Blend standard. Only from Nescafe.
It's only memories of Earth and the rich smell of this coffee that keeps my spirits up. Coffee. At least we'll reach our destination soon. Coffee. You make a fine cup of coffee. You've made my day.
You taking your coffee break now, Alan?
Yeah, that's right. You want some? Coffee. And I had to go make coffee for two. Hurry up, would you? My coffee's starting to cool off. Coffee, my salvation from my day-to-day drudgery. Coffee. A little bitter, but still an excellent blend.
Boy, you should switch to decaf.
Hello. I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm having a dinner party and I've run out of coffee.
Come in.
Thank you.
Will Gold Blend be too good for your guests?
Oh, I think they could get used to it.
It's a very sophisticated coffee.
They have very sophisticated taste.
Do they?
Yes. Well, I must be getting back.
Now, golden roasted, richer, smoother, Nescafe Gold Blend.
Have you met your new neighbor yet?
Oh, I've popped in for coffee.
Come on, Dad.
You're playing Vicky, not Andre Agassi.
Don't be so sure.
Agassi.
Hi, call me Andre.
Nescafe, Andre.
You bet. Nescafe sure is coffee at its best. That's the best thing served to me all week. Who's up for doubles?
Yeah!
The best days are Nescafe days.
今結構忙しいんだろ？そういえば例の歌の歌詞はで
私はあなたが好き。
Days looking new and bright, and you're gonna start it right. Folgers starting to brew, the aroma's calling you. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Mornings are brighter with mountain-grown Folgers because mountain-grown coffee has more enticing aroma than any other kind.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Please enjoy this footage of velvety smooth beans, followed by a well-shot close-up of a hot brown liquid that's brewed by mixing heated water.
All over the world, the word for great coffee flavor is Nescafe.
We're the world's favorite brand of instant coffees.
In America, Nescafe's great flavor comes two ways.
We're the world's best-selling too.
Nescafe Regular in the red label.
If Nescafe can please the whole wide world.
And now Nescafe Decaffeinated in the green label.
We can sure please you.
Same kind of flavor. Nescafe Regular, Nescafe Decaffeinated. What's your pleasure?
お嬢さん方を応接室に。
はい。
美味しいコーヒーを入れましょうかね。美味しいコーヒーができましたよ。
I only showed you that to remind you you desperately need your fix.
Go!
男の温度が上がった。飲んで飲んでまた飲みたい。缶入りコーヒーウエスト。
Go west.
ボス、私のそばにいてね。ボス、決して私見捨てないでお願い。Boss, I can't live without you. Boss, I can't live without you.
Boss, いつもそばにいてね。Boss, 私のそばにいてね。Boss, 決して私見捨てないでお願い。Boss, I can't live without you. Boss, I can't live without you.
A very special cup of coffee, a new standard in richness, a new standard in pureness, blended together to give a new standard in smooth. The Gold Blend standard, only from Nescafe.
It's only memories of Earth and the rich smell of this coffee that keeps my spirits up. Coffee. At least we'll reach our destination soon. Coffee.
Well, I've returned. I have returned. Let's carry on. Oh. As you can see, some of these frames are repeated. Just thought I'd point that out there. That's just a time saver. City Pop, yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Look, that boy's here. Oh shit, it's that boy. Yeah, I like City Pop. I like me some City Pop, yeah, it's true, I like it. The only trouble with playing my music through the speakers as I'm doing right now is that the microphone is also picking up the music, which might be creating a bit of an echo for you. But I think you can all take it. You're a big guy. For you. Who knows? Who knows? I'm so unpredictable. Even I can't tell what I'm going to do from moment to moment. Although truth be told, it's probably just going to be more animation, I guess. if I want to be completely demonetized, maybe. Not everyone's tastes are refined enough for Dave Mustaine. Being a man of culture, mine are. You missed nothing. Nothing. Just some arm shading. Music's a bit loud, do you think? Looking at my volume levels here, it looks alright. Seems okay. Do you ever feel them going after fan art? Who? Megadeth? Megadeth? I can put it down a bit. Put it down to 35. See if that helps. Look, here's a door opening in space that I animated a few weeks ago. I'm telling you, it's so satisfying drawing little details on spaceships and putting lights on them. Like they shut down fan game remakes. Yeah, I mean, I think you just have to be smart about it. You can get away with fan films, but fan games, no, they always get shut down, don't they? And fan art, I don't know. I think where, you know, obviously stuff can always get worse. Stuff can always get worse, and it tends to. But at the moment, we're in a place where people can do fan art and nobody minds. I don't think they even have any legal way of stopping fan art. Like, you know, just look at the amount of Star Wars fan art there is on the internet. Just shitloads of it. How would they take it all down? But, you know, in a dystopian future, I can certainly see some greedy company going, you know what, we own every single permutation of every likeness of our IP, and if you draw Darth Vader, you owe us money now, so take it down or pay us. Like, right now, if someone tried to do that, I think it would be suicide. Like, it would be PR suicide. But, you know, in the future, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me 50, 60 years from now, maybe. And as always, Japan wouldn't care. Japan would be like, yeah, just do all the fan art of Dragon Ball you like. Ah, you noticed the lighting transition. Yeah, I'm actually... I'm glad someone noticed that. So here it is frame by frame. So we're using the outside palette, and then I need to switch to the inside palette. So yeah, I just did it. I just kind of faded it out. faded one palette into the next. I'm reading, speaking of dystopian futures, I'm reading a collection of short stories all under a common theme at the moment, which is dystopia. It's what is it? Yeah, Ignorance is Strength, the first part of the 3-part book series, the I think Dystopia Triptych or something. So it's a bunch of stories all completely different, except they're at the start of the world going really dystopian. So then the second book is a collection of short stories about the world in progress of being a dystopia, and then I guess the third one is the aftermath of that. They've done similar things before. They've done like the Apocalypse Triptych, where it's like the first book is all like short stories about, oh shit, look, the world's ending, and in the second one the world has ended, and in the third one it's you know, in the future after people have learned to live with the zombie apocalypse or whatever kind of thing. It's an interesting concept. Obviously stories vary in quality dramatically. Romance short stories. Not so far. Wow, a lot of gaps today. A lot of gaps today. That's a bit long. What's long? I don't stream on Saturdays, but today I just felt like it, I guess. Hold on, let's have a look at this poster. Let's have a look at this poster, see what we can find on Google. Is this the poster of which you speak? I mean, it says by Zentron, so I'm guessing that's you. And it does have the Death Star in the background. If I were to give you one critique, it would be the lightsaber isn't quite lightsabery enough, is it? But yeah, good job. But you need that, you know, bright white inner glow in the middle of the lightsaber. Oh, that's the old version. Okay, link has the new version in the chat. I'll have a look if you like. Yeah, you'll probably find a Japanese slice of life comedy where a girl seduces a boy with flowers and stuff. Maki reads a lot of manga. She's probably come across something like that. But I think she's probably cleaning cats at the moment. She's probably brushing cats. Is this, yeah, this is Zoids again. A lot of Zoids today. I see, I see. I think the dystopia of RoboCop is made much more palatable by the whole satire. You can laugh at like the corporatism and stuff. RoboCop works on so many levels. As a kid, I didn't get like that it was a satire at all, and I just completely enjoyed it for the over-the-top violence. Because there's over-the-top violence. But it's usually quite cheap, isn't it? It's usually, you know, Italian zombie movie kind of over-the-top violence. So to get super over-the-top violence on a really big budget with such good effects, like holy shit, RoboCop just looks fantastic. So that I enjoyed it for that as a kid, and then as my brain developed, I guess, I watched it again when I was older, and I was like, hold on, this is actually really funny as well. I didn't understand that it was funny at the time. Sunblock 5000. Okay, we got the arm done. Oh shit, we totally forgot this. All right. Yeah, oh, Running Man. Another masterpiece. Not as good as RoboCop, I don't think, but yeah, it's very good. I think probably my favourite movies would be RoboCop, Predator, Aliens, Terminator, and The Thing. I'm one of those people that I love Terminator 2, but I think that the first Terminator is better. But yeah, as far as sequels go, holy shit, Terminator 2 is just perfection. Yeah, 209 is fantastic. Not that I know of. Oh yeah, the Running Man novella is so, the short story, it's just so different, isn't it? I listened to all of Stephen King's stuff a few years ago, and I mean, I think the Long Walk is probably a much darker one if you wanted to do something like that. Hello! Oh, Predator 2 is good. Predator 2 is good, but I mean, it's not as good as Predator 1, and yeah, Predator is one of those perfect movies. The only two perfect movies that I can think of are RoboCop, probably, and Predator. Like, so here's my super autistic here's my super autistic criteria for a 100% perfect movie review. Yeah, it has to be a film where you can't just like it. Shit, look, Abe's appeared in the bottom right. Abe, we can see you. We can see you Skyping me, Abe. We can see you live on screen. I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you later if you're still in the stream watching. But alright, so, perfect movie. It can't just be a movie that you really like. You have to look at it objectively. And you have to think, is any part of this film subpar? Like, is there any part of this film where if you just improved that one part, or these two parts, it would be better? If the answer's no, then it's probably a perfect film. Like, nothing you could do would improve it. And for RoboCop, like, the effects are perfect, the acting is perfect, music's perfect, story's perfect. The only thing I can think of with RoboCop, and this is a real nitpick, the only thing that you could change to improve that film in any way would be to go back and redo the final shot where Dick Jones falls out the window and his arms are too long. Like, just improve the green screening a little bit and change the length of his arms, and suddenly you've got a 100% perfect movie. Right now it's 99.5% movie, whereas with RoboCop, with Predator, sorry, there isn't a single shot in Predator that looks a little bit off. Like, everything about it is perfect. And that's my criteria for that's my criteria for perfect movies. So if you think, for instance, if you think of The Thing, I don't know how familiar you are with The Thing. I've seen it loads of times. I love The Thing. Look, Abe can't hear me and he's trying to get in contact with me here, live on stream. Abe! Abe! Everyone on stream can see your messages. You better not send any dick pics. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Raiders of the Lost Ark, I think. Right, I'd have to watch it again. It's a fantastic film. It is one of my favourite films. I'd have to watch it again and take notes and see if there's like a single shot that could be replaced to make it better. Like off the top of my head, I think it's like well up there in the very high 90%. But yeah, okay, so The Thing, if you remember The Thing, if you've seen The Thing, it's almost a perfect movie, but it's let down by the final boss battle. Because if you've seen the various behind-the-scenes documentaries, the making of and whatnot, the reason the final boss looks so mediocre compared to every other creature shot you've seen in the movie is because they wanted to do this giant stop-motion thing at the end, but they couldn't get the stop motion to look right. You know, they wanted it to be Ray Harryhausen quality, and they couldn't get it to look right, and so they just cut it. They didn't. It was approaching time to release the film, so they just cut those shots, but they didn't have time to put anything else in. So that's why in the final battle it's just like a really still looking. You know what I mean? It's just a really still looking close-up of a thing, which you get the feeling watching it. We should have seen this from a distance. Like, we should have seen establishing shots of this thing moving around, and that's because you were supposed to. It's just they cut them out because they didn't live up to the rest of the effects in the movie. There's still a few shots from that scene left in, like where the stop-motion tentacle comes out and pulls the detonator down into the ground. But yeah, I would. I think in the behind-the-scenes documentary you actually see like some of the footage from it, and yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it looks good for a normal film, but we're talking The Thing, which is like, you know, redefined special effects for like monster effects. It doesn't hold up to the rest of that. So that's the only thing that brings the Thing down. The rest of the film is an easy 100%. Arms full of cat. Mackie, someone was asking, in your long experiences of reading manga, do you know of a manga, have you ever come across a manga where the girl the girl seduces the guy through wholesome methods, like sending him flowers and stuff? So it's kind of the reverse of what you'd normally expect in manga. Have you ever seen anything like that? Because I can't remember ever seeing anything like that. Oh, Lily's in your arms drooling again, is she? Someone should do a manga about Lily. Perfect Kitten. That's what it would be called. 100% Kitten. You're feeling the pain of old work lost to old hard drives. That's what happened to that Doctor Who anime that I did all those years ago. It was lost when, like, I think maybe 3 or 4 computers back, it it was on, I'd put it up on YouTube. I didn't think I needed the original file anymore, and so when the computer got chucked out, I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think to go in and back up that Doctor Who file. Because back then, if you put something on YouTube, it was there for good. This was like early days. Like nowadays, you have to constantly worry about something on YouTube being taken down and you never seeing it again. But, you know, there were no copyright claims or anything really back then. Ah, I see. Conan the Barbarian and Big Trouble in Little China. I really need to see Big Trouble in Little China again. I really need to. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I mean, I remember Conan the Barbarian being really good. But you know, Alien for instance is fantastic, but it's not a perfect film. And Aliens is fantastic, but that's not a perfect film either. Like the main problem with Aliens, which you don't really notice, to be fair, you don't really notice it that much in the film until you start thinking about it, is that I think, and I mean, who cares about like little plot holes here and there? It doesn't really matter if the film works. But there's what, like 100 colonists? So 100 colonists are infected with facehuggers, 100 aliens come out. Like let's be generous and say it's 200 colonists, maybe 300. So you've probably got like 300 aliens running around. But you only, just because I guess of budget constraints. And now Abe's calling me. Abe, no. Look, he's really insistent. So this is something I'm gonna need to look at him go. Look at him go. This is something I need to figure out for future streams. How do you disable Skype pop-ups? Does anybody know? I mean, you could just close down Skype, I guess. That would work. But then I forget to put it back on again after the stream. Anyway, I guess what I was saying is, you don't ever see that many aliens on screen in Aliens. You see about, they do the same trick that they do for Daleks in old school Doctor Who. They only had 3 Dalek props. So you'd only see 3 Daleks on screen at once. But you know, when a Dalek got blown up, they'd just use a prop or whatever, and you'd still have 3 more Daleks. So it always looked like there were more than there are. But there were only 3 Daleks. Hence the move in threes meme. And I think there's the one shot where it's that can't be, it's inside the room, and I think Hicks goes up to the grating on the ceiling and looks up there, and you actually see on screen about like 10 aliens at that point coming towards the camera, and that looked great. But for the rest of the film, no, you don't. Like I think the scene that's it shows the most is when you have the smart guns firing down the hallway, and you can see that you can see on the monitor that there's like hundreds of aliens coming down the corridor and getting mowed down by these guns, but you only see like maybe 3 shots of aliens getting killed in close-up, mostly reused shots actually. So, you know, stuff like that prevents it from being a completely perfect film, but it is still probably my favourite film of all time, so that just goes to show it doesn't have to be a perfect film technically to be your favourite film. You can't be like, no, I'm not allowed to like this because it doesn't score 100% on Paul Johnson's arbitrary scale. I could do a technical break and tell him I'm streaming, yeah. There's a notification sub-menu in the settings in Skype. Hold on, whilst I was ranting, I've missed a bunch of chat here. Let's go through and have a look here. Look, he's still going. I don't mind the tiny arms on the Queen. I mean, at least it's got big arms as well. Like, I really like the Queen alien design. And Abe's here in chat, so surely he can hear me. Abe, you're in chat. You're here. I know, I'm streaming, yes. Why are you Skyping me whilst I'm streaming? I'll talk to you after the stream. He can hear me, he can hear me. Abe, what are you doing? I mean, to be fair, it is my fault. I should have found a way to disable Skype pop-ups. Made myself look very amateurish there, didn't I? Very amateurish. Normally I'd say no because I don't know the person, but I do know you and I know that you're really good. So if you want to do some colouring, that would be super helpful. But only, well, we'll talk about it later because I'd feel bad you just doing it for free. But I'm also super poor, so we'll see if we can work something out. But no, yeah, the answer is that would be great. I'll talk to you after. We'll try and figure something out. If you don't know, chat, Abe did some colouring for a very. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I'll show you the thing that Abe coloured for me. Where are we? Is this it? Is this it? Yeah, here it is. Alright, so so for this, which you may have seen, there's a shot coming up inside the cockpit, and I was like, well shit, I've got so much to do, and Abe was like, well, alright, I'll colour that for you, and we'll have a look at the shot. It's this one here. So that's the shot, and Abe said, well, I'll colour it for you, and my initial thought was, this is a really complicated shot. Like, I will colour a couple of frames as a reference for him and let him colour the rest, but it's a really tough one to start someone out on. Like, this is going to be a nightmare. There's no way he's going to pull it off. But as you can see, he did really well. He did. Like, I gave him 2 coloured frames of this, and he extrapolated everything else himself, and it came out exactly how I would have done it. So either he read my mind, or he's just like naturally really good. So yeah, he did a great job. As you can see from this, like, this was so long ago that the lines are pixelated. I wasn't using anti-aliasing at the time, so like the lines are really, yeah, you can tell it's old work. But the purpose of this is the shading, and he did a great job. And I mean, that saved me, what, about 30 hours? He has a brain chip implanted, there you go, you see. So I think, and didn't you do this as well, Abe? I think you did this one as well. Someone did. I know I did this one, because I hate that walk. If you look, the arms and legs are moving wrong. Like, if your left leg is forward, that means your right arm is forward. But I guess we could get away with it by saying it's trudging through the snow, but it doesn't. It always rubbed me the wrong way. So anyway, that's why if someone randomly said, "Hey, I'll colour for you," I'd be like, "Well, I don't know if they're any good." But in Abe's case, they gave him a really hard shot and he just kind of like knocked it out of the park. So that'll be a yes. Human in between machine. Indeed. Yeah, he did a fantastic job. Since we're praising Abe, hold on. We'll praise Mackie as well whilst we're here. Let me find R-Type. I'll show you the shot that Mackie did for R-Type. Where is it? Where is it? It'll be under mashed R-Type. Oh, I've got all kinds of test stuff in here. I wonder if I should show you some of this. Shows you some behind the scenes stuff. Oh shit, I opened 2 of them by accident. I'll show you some behind the scenes stuff since we're here. Here's my R-Type folder. Look, here's a test I did. I was like, will this whole render stuff out as lines work? And I did some tests, and yeah, I mean, it does look. I actually kind of wish that I'd put that in the film and colored it. How? Alright, I've hit a button and I've lost all of my controls from the top of Windows Media Player. How do I close this down? How do I close this down? Is it like F12? I don't want to press random keys and stop streaming. It wasn't 3 frames, it was shitloads of frames, Mackie. I won't accept you selling yourself short. So the boss was a 3D model as well, which I did loads of drawing on top of. So if I hadn't drawn details on top of the boss, this is what it would have looked like in its pure 3D form. So as you can see, you know, like no skin around the mouth, no lips or anything. It's just kind of, it's helpful, but it's a real mess. So when you're doing this whole lines thing, you really do have to go in and do a lot of extra drawing on top afterwards. Here's some models and whatnot. There's some hair reference for the secondary character. I just looked for hairstyles on Google. And I thought, oh, that's a pretty cool hairstyle. I'll use that one. So sorry to that model who I stole the hair of. Anyway, one moment. Storyboard. It's one of these. I'm gonna find it. Just talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Is this it? Yes, this is it. Alright, this is what Mackie coloured. I gave her 1 frame and she did the rest. That's not 3 frames, that's more than 3 frames. So yeah, she did a great job on that. Although, oh shit, hold on. Oh, we've got a couple of frames of purple inside the sleeve here. But maybe that was me, I don't know. Maybe that was me. Oh yeah, you did do some stuff on Warframe as well, yeah. But, oh shit, again, my controls have gone. How do I get them back? Does anyone know? Does anyone know how you get your menu back on? Oh, I delete system 32. F4? I'm gonna press it. This is a terrible idea. I'm gonna hotkey myself into stopping the stream or something. Let's. Oh, hold on. No, it's not that. No, it's not that. That. I just hit all the F keys. That sure to work. Ah, fuck it. I can't. Can I right click and close down? Yeah, I can. Let me just have a quick look through and see if I can find some more behind the scenes stuff for you. Control and 2, says Abe. Let's try that. No, that's not right. That gets rid of more controls. No, I'm not seeing any stream jitter. We've dropped 25 whole frames. Oh, control and 0, says Abe. Alright, is that it? No, that hasn't done anything. That hasn't done anything, I'm afraid. Oh, no, you're right. Alright, Abe has saved the day. Let's see, what, is it back now? Yeah, now we're back. Alright. So, control 0, there we go. Right, so here's the shot as it finally looked. And here's what it starts out looking like. Do that a bit slower. So that's some behind the scenes animatic stuff, I guess, for you. Control 0. Oh, that, yeah. All right. Wow, what a helpful chat. Thank you. Anyway, back to this. For the next stream, I'll actually prepare a bunch of behind the scenes stuff in advance, so you don't have to suffer me looking through folders. Yeah, it's really coloring assistance that I need. But you know, it's one of those things where you really, it's just a very good idea to work with people that you already know, kind of thing. Because having done collaborations in the past, like there's always the risk that, I'm not saying you would, but I mean that's the thing. Like, who knows? Collaborating with other people, like it's like doing a university project with other people. And someone just like, yeah, I'll get it to you later, kind of thing. But you're waiting on it, and I don't know. You need to work with. It's like being in a band. You need to work with people that you know, that you know it's going to work out, kind of thing. Who thumbed it down? Indeed. Maybe they just don't like my voice. Maybe they don't like the music. Maybe they don't like my voice and the music. That autosave is an absolute lifesaver. As you may have noticed that I haven't saved once. Autosave does it for me. When we were doing Prisoner Zero in the studio, it became a bit of a meme. Like, I forget who started it, but you know, it's just a bunch of artists and we all forget to save all the time. And if your machine ever crashes or whatever, then that's it, you've lost hours of work. So somebody started saying friendly save. Someone would just shout friendly save, and like everyone would save. And yeah, we all started doing it. Friendly save. Oh, we're 28.5 degrees now, we're approaching 30. I can live with 30, but once it starts getting into the mid-30s, it's just way too hot. Way too hot. Last summer it was getting up to 40 in my room, and it was so hot I felt like I was dying. That was with the aircon, well, not the aircon, but with the fan on. So this year I either move my shit down to a room lower in the house, or I sort out some kind of portable aircon thing. Hello! 40C, yeah, 40C, yeah. I think you start to dehydrate at that point, don't you? Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't 40 outside, but British houses are built in a really weird way. So that they're built to keep the heat in because it's generally freezing cold, but in summer you suffer completely. If, like, in my house is it's a bunch of student houses, and the attics have all been converted into another bedroom to pack more people in. So I only live with one other person, but there's only two big bedrooms in the house. There's one on the second floor, and I'm up in the attic. And so all the heat from the day just collects. It collects in the attic where I am. It just gets hotter and hotter up here. And it's not until like 3 or 4 a.m. that the heat actually starts to dissipate. And so I can put my fans on, but they're literally just blowing really hot air at me. They're not cooling anything. So I can put my fans on and spray myself with water. I've got a spray bottle here. Oh, missed me pappy. Oh yeah. Oh shit, yeah, that's really good. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I've been thoroughly misted now. That's your old house. I can totally see why. Rick down the road from me lives on the same street. His attic, but I mean, he owns the house, I just rent mine. So owning the house and it being an investment and whatnot, he actually put actual proper air conditioning into his attic. But I don't think the housing agency would let us even do that. But I will shoot them an email and say, by the way, it's 40 degrees in my room and I'm actually dying. Could you do something about it? I don't really want to move into the tiny room downstairs. But you know, there's also the concern of it just frying my machine. The fans are running really hot. And OnlyFans. That'll be my OnlyFans account. It's just literally photos of me and aircon and fans. It's do I have, can I change this to F? Can I change this to F? Yeah, so it's 83.3 degrees F in here, and it's 28.5 degrees C. Which, you know, people in Australia and Japan are going to laugh at that. That's nothing. But people in Australia and Japan have aircon because they live in hot countries. Excellent. Yes, let's all draw. Why not? Maki, are you still here? Are you reading manga in the background? Are you looking at your little memes? What are you up to? Indeed, we'll set up like a missed donation goal, and every time someone drops like $1, I'll mist myself. And make oogie-oo noises. What does Lily think of the stream? Has she said anything about it? It's streaming from an inflatable pool. I'll tell you some more, like, too personal, I didn't ask information. I hate outdoor pools. I hate that things float in them. I hate that, like, you get like leaves and grass floating in them, and a fly will land in it and drown, and you've got like flies floating in there. I don't understand outdoor pools. I hate that there are things floating in them. Well, for me not to make oogie noises, you have to donate $2 for that. I think that's the incentive there. Oh, come on. There's no gap. Alright, there is a gap. But I'm still going to say there wasn't a gap. Yeah. But I mean, let's say it's 100% clean. You get in it, like, after 10 minutes, because it's outside, something's going to fall from the sky and float in it. Like, a fly will land in it, a mosquito will land in it. You'll have some disgusting leaf landing in there and, like, slapping against your face whilst you're trying to swim. I don't know how people do it. It turns my stomach. I've got really weird phobias, I'm telling you. Toothbrush bristles, things floating in pools. Perhaps. Maybe I was drowned in a past life in a paddling pool. And the last thing I saw as my consciousness slipped away was a dead wasp floating in it. How can you be in an outside pool knowing that there might be a dead wasp floating in it? How are you not just constantly thinking about that? No, I definitely don't. Although in the sea it wouldn't be so bad because the waves would be taking stuff out, wouldn't it? Like, you know, in something as big as the sea, you probably wouldn't notice if a wasp died in it. But also, the beaches here are disgusting, so you would never want to swim on in an English sea. And the beach is nice, but you wouldn't want to actually get in that brown shit water. Oof. Don't. I'm breaking out in a cold sweat just hearing about the wasp getting close there. Yeah. I mean, that's another thing. Like the amount of piss and even less wholesome bodily fluids that are in pools. Thank you, Russia. The motherland of Russia blesses me with sandwich money. Most appreciated, thank you. That's a do svidania from me. I used to play this game on the Mega Drive called 688 Attack Sub. And you could choose from... It was a submarine simulator. And you could choose from 2 submarines. You had an American 688 sub. And there we go. And you had a Russian sub. I forget the make. And if you choose the American one, whenever you clicked on a control, you'd get, you'd get digitized voices in English. And in the Russian one, all the controls were in Russian and all the voices were in Russian. Like, hold on. Let me see if I can find this. Hold on a sec. And so it's kind of genius because you had to play as the American one first, so you knew what was being said and what the buttons did, and then you could switch to the Russian one. And even though you couldn't understand it, I mean, obviously you could, because you speak Russian, but I didn't. But yeah, I knew I knew the analogy from the American sub, I guess. 688 Attack Sub Mega Drive. Oh, it was an alpha. It was an alpha, the Russian one. Now, what we want is some gameplay, but we don't want some guy talking over the top of it. Is this going to have some guy talking through it? No, I guess not. Too loud? So, I mean, remember, this is the Mega Drive, so the control pad has 3 buttons. It has 3 buttons and a start button. So it's kind of amazing that they managed to do a complete submarine simulator with just 3 buttons. Anyway, so you get your orders. Then you go back here. You can click on various stations to do, you know, weapons, periscope, all that stuff. It looks really boring now, but I'm telling you, this was super immersive. This was super immersive back in the day.
Select target. Target acquired.
Is he going to launch it? I was never any good at it. It's one of those games where you needed to read the manually, read the manual thoroughly. So yeah, you can look through the periscope and actually see what's going on the surface, but you need to be at periscope depth to do that.
Select target. Target acquired.
Sorry for being a boomer. I'm sure this looks terrible to all of you. Let's see if he does the Russian sub. I don't know. I just thought it was cool that you could choose a completely foreign sub. So here it is on the Amiga. Graphics are a bit different. Does it still have the speech though? Does it still have the speech? Doesn't sound like it does have any speech on the Amiga. No, no. Oof. Anyway, I think that's enough of that. Sorry I couldn't show you a Russian submarine. Where were we? I've completely... Oh yeah, we're doing this line, I guess. Ah, yeah, indeed, that's a good point. Sound cards, yeah. Completely forgot sound cards were a thing. I'm sorry, I will get better at Russian. Considering it's gonna be like the new superpower. Russia was, you know how in the 80s we had all of the, like, you had a lot of, like, Cold War propaganda kind of America good, Russia bad movies. Like, even then, like, Rambo 2 and, no, Rambo 3 actually, and stuff like that, I was always like, damn, Russians have really good planes, don't they? MiG-29 is my favourite plane. It was an enemy you could respect. Back in the Cold War. Commodore 64 had a MiG-29 game, and the Mega Drive did as well. Not sure what it was about MiG-29 that so many Western developers thought, let's make a game about that particular plane. It's amazing how time budgeting works. Like, before I started this stream, I thought I'm easily gonna get this finished today, so I'll get this one ready so that we can start doing this, because we'll probably get halfway through this on the stream, and 3 hours in almost, and it's still not finished. It's just like it always takes longer. It always takes way longer than you think. That's why it's so hard to say. Like, someone sends me an inquiry, how long would it take you to do 5 minutes of animation? I feel like Scotty from Star Trek. It's gonna take me I can't change the laws of physics, Captain. It's probably gonna take me like a year. Well, you've got 3 days, Scotty. Spasibo bolshoi? How do you pronounce it? And, you know, just from looking at it, I don't know what emphasis you put on what syllables as well. It's tricky. That's why I like katakana. It's easy. You know exactly how to pronounce stuff in Japanese. But, you know, stuff like French and German with the strange accents above the letters. Ain't no one got time for that shit. Thank you. I'm glad you approve of my flawless pronunciation. Well, chat's gone a bit quiet. We're all just soaking in the atmosphere. Would you like me to play some Christmas carols? Maybe play the sound of a crackling log fire for you? How do I keep my lines from wobbling? I mean, they do. They do wobble, but if you notice, I'm only doing a little bit at a time. Like, if this curve here, I wouldn't try and do that and then go to the next frame and do that and then do that. I mean, look, it wobbles. So what I do instead is I'll do it like a bit at a time, like so. And then it stays fairly consistent, and then I'll do the next bit. And I mean, they still wobble a bit, but they don't wobble nearly as much. But yeah, I mean, look at this. This bit here is wobbling. So yeah, a lot of it is just going in afterwards and fixing it up. No problem. Glad I could help. Filling in all these tiny little bits here, it'd honestly just be easier to get the brush and unfortunately the gap here is on the actual wire, which is on a layer up there. I'll have to fix that later. No. Indeed, I am streaming randomly. I don't think I'll go too much longer because I am starting to get very hungry. Might treat myself actually. I might get takeout. When you live on sandwiches for months at a time, you can afford to do a takeout like once every couple of months, I think. I wonder if the Thai place is open. Obviously the virus has messed things up a bit. But if the Thai place is open, I might stick the mask on, go down there. I mean, it's only a 2-minute walk away. Another coffee commercial, maybe. Maybe. Well, thank you. If you're here, thanks for subscribing. We don't often see those. We used to see them a lot back in the day. We used to see people subscribing whilst I was streaming, but I think we're kind of reaching the cut-off point. There's only so much TIE Fighter fame I can coast off of. Yeah, Mackie was saying how, you know, if you're in America, it's car or nothing, unfortunately, whereas here you can just walk to places, which is nice. Especially when the weather's nice like it is today. So yeah, this curve, that's wobbling, as you can see, so easiest thing to do is just find the midpoint and put that in as a guide like so. And instead of drawing one big curve, you just draw two smaller ones. There's a lot less room for error when you do that. I used that term completely incorrectly there. It doesn't mess up as much is what I'm trying to say. What's next? Oh, we got some R-type, some gallop. OtaKing, it's from Otaku no Video. Gainax's one of Gainax's shows before they became really famous with Evangelion. They did a bunch of really good stuff. Nadia, Secret of Blue Water, Otaku no Video, which is basically a comedy fictional account of how Gainax got started as a company, except it's an anime. And the main guy who starts Gainax, he's sick of people calling him an otaku all the time, and he decides that he won't just be an otaku. There's nothing wrong with liking Macross and lining up outside of theatres to watch anime movies the day they're released. Like, he's not just going to be an otaku, he's going to be the otaku of otaku. He's going to become the OtaKing. And it chronicles his his attempts to set up a company, start a theme park, and become the king of all otaku. It's only 2 parts, so if anyone wants something to watch that's only 2 parts long, Otaku no Video, fantastic. It's one of those things where you can watch it and it's really good, but if you know like anime history, there's so many, you can pause the scenes, and there's so many different things in the background, like when they go to anime conventions and there's people dressed up as Gundam characters in the background, and you know, just like loads of that stuff. People quoting from different anime and just like dropping it into conversation, and you have no idea where it's from. They released it on VHS over here. I think it was Kiseki. Was it Kiseki? It was Kiseki Video released it. And you open up the VHS and there's the tape, and there's this massive liner. There's a book of liner notes in it that explains every reference. It's one of those. It's one of those series. Oh, there we go. Got too cocky, animation bros. We got too cocky. We spilled outside the lines. Now you may be thinking, why don't you just turn the mask on so it doesn't go outside the lines? That's because I'm living dangerously today. There is also an actual reason, but it's so technical and boring that no one wants to hear it. Oh, right, I see. I mean, it's a good one. It's a good one. Animego, that was it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think they also released, I think it was them that did Bubblegum Crisis on video in the UK. Damn, Manga Video really missed out. They should have snapped up Bubblegum Crisis. Let's have a look. How are we looking? Yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along, isn't it? Yeah, I've heard. I mean, Manga UK have been dead for years, though, haven't they? It's one of those things where it's just like it survives in name only, I think. So it's sad, but I went to the funeral a long time ago, so I'm not super sad. But yeah, all right. I think we'll call it a day for here. I really need to go and get some food. So thank you for joining me for this spontaneous journey. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to stay hydrated. And I will see you all again. Cheerio for now.